Well, hey, everyone. Good. Lori's here. Good. Hopefully everyone is here, was able to get in. All right. Well, we are going to dive in. Welcome to Spiritual Money Mastery. I am so excited about this masterclass, and I think I haven't been this excited about a masterclass in a long time. I'm obviously, see if we can get a little bit of our lighting situation here. Is that a little bit better? It's nighttime, so it's a bit pixelated. Yeah, I'm really excited to share the group healing with you guys and the clearing using the elemental emotional resonance clearing and also the Healy. I've been using it in my groups over the last week, and we've been having like just tremendous, amazing results. And so I'm excited to scan the group and use the Healy to do some healing and clearing in the group as we move through both the educational part and the actual clearing part. And so, you know, my intention coming into this masterclass tonight is for each one of you that are here to get exactly what you desire. And I'm holding the intention for you to walk away from these 2 hours with radical transformation in one area of your life. As you guys know, and especially those of you that have worked with me and have been doing wealth consciousness work from me, and I think we're about 50-50. I think we've got a bunch of new people that are new to me here. And then we have a bunch of you that are sort of like old timers that have been working with me on wealth consciousness stuff for 1 year or 2 years. Some of you longer than that, 3 years. So money work is not really about money work. And it's an easy access point. I call money the gateway drug of spiritual expansion, because it's just an easy access point. We all have money shit. We all have issues with money that need to be worked through. And it doesn't matter how much money we're making. It doesn't matter how financially abundant we are. We've all got conditioning. We've all got programming. We all have stuff that we need to work through. What money does do is, by accessing that, by using it to access our system, it's a beautiful way to allow for expansion in all areas of our lives. And so, you know, while you're here to talk about spiritual money mastery, the spiritual mastery that may come from this masterclass may be in a different area of your life. You may be even here seeking spiritual mastery in another area of your life. So I just want to state my intention really, really clearly at the beginning of this masterclass. And again, that is for each and every one of you that invested in this course and in this class, either your time, energy, or money, or all. I'm getting internet connection unstable. Can you guys still see me? Okay, cool. So some of you are here, some of you invested your time, energy, and money into being here. Some of you invested your time, energy into being here by growing through our Healy team ranks very, very quickly. And some of you are all class pass holders with me. So there's lots of ways that you may have found yourself here, but just being here is an investment of 2 of your most precious resources, your time and your energy. And so I acknowledge that, and I'm so, so grateful that you're choosing to spend those precious resources with me here. And so I think it's really important that you now set an intention for what you desire to get out of tonight. So my intention is that each and every one of you walk away from this 2 hours having experienced radical transformation in 1 or more areas of your life. And so that is the certainty, and that is the intention that I'm holding for the next 2 hours. So Yeah, it's pixelated, and I think that that's primarily because it's dark. Like I can't get much more light in here. I blew out my American lights because the converters here just don't work very well. So I have ordered new lights from Tokopedia, but they have not arrived yet. So you guys get the dusky, pixelated me. In a couple of weeks, we'll have a whole new light set up, and it will look beautiful and professional. But you know what? I really don't care because it's more about the content. So just want to make sure that you guys can hear me though. And if internet gets spotty, the chat generally still working. So just drop me a quick note. Hey, you're getting cut off. Hey, we can't hear you. Hey, you sound like a robot. Hey, you sound like a chipmunk, whatever the case may be. So, but I do want each and every one of you to take a moment right now. And let's just take a few deep breaths and drop into the container together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. A couple more. And just pulling all of your energy back from all the places that it may be right now. Pulling it back fully into your energetic field, your energetic space. And just observing how you're feeling in this moment. You may be excited, you may be apprehensive, you may be curious, you may be feeling frustration or anxiety of some kind. So really from a place of non-judgment, just observing how you're feeling right now, knowing that however it is that you're feeling, that's perfectly okay. There's no need to judge it. There's no way to try to change, no reason to try to change how you're feeling. Just really be in a state of observation of your own energy. It's really important as we come into these collective containers and do this type of work that you are really tapping into and checking in with your energy at the beginning of these calls and owning your own emotion and your own energy. And taking a moment right now to really settle into your intention for this next couple of hours, your intention for this class, what you desire to get out of this. What would be a really epic, amazing result as a result of you spending your most precious resources here, your time, energy, money with me this evening. So just taking a few moments to contemplate that, what it is that you desire from this class tonight, what you want to walk away with, where you desire to experience radical transformation. Again, from a place of non-judgment and observation. And when you're ready, I'd love for you to just go ahead and state that intention and that area that you really would like to see radical transformation in the chat box. One of the things that I love to have people do at the beginning of my programs or at the beginning of my classes is to name and claim what they're here for. And I love the idea of typing it out and really like putting it into action by putting it in the chat box, because what that is creating is this little soul contract with yourself, that you're all in, that you're here, that you're ready to go all in, and that you're naming and claiming the transformation that you desire to walk away with. I want to just name that we are working with the quantum field over the next couple of hours, and everything is possible for you in the infinite now. Everything. You simply, because everything that you can conceive of already exists in the infinite now. And all you really need to do is access that, is to find the access point to be able to reach out and grab that thing and pull it to you. So every intention that you could have, any radical transformation that you desire to have, a version of you already has that. So knowing that when we come together in collective space like this, we've got 37 people on this call right now, including me, all setting intention to experience radical transformation. We are so, so, so powerful in groups. And that collective energy fuels each person's intention. That collective energy fuels each person's desire for that radical transformation. And so I want you and I invite you to step into this space tonight from a place of knowing that everything that you desire in this moment is available to you in the quantum field. Everything that you desire in this moment is available to you in the infinite now. And so absolutely, can you access that version of yourself that already has the thing that you're typing into this chat box? 1,000,000%. And I say that to you with total certainty. So Maria, who's on the call right now, we had a call a few months ago and she said, you know, your certainty is your superpower. Like your certainty is literally what activates your clients. And I believe that to be true. I am a person that has been filled with and had certainty my entire life. And it's part of what enables me to activate abundance and prosperity and worthiness and deserving in my clients is my certainty. So I will bring my certainty to this container, my certainty that each and every one of you can achieve the thing that you deeply desire to get out of this class, and that each one of you can reach out to that version of you in the infinite now and pull it to yourself. I'm just going to read a few of these, not out loud. You guys can read them all. But I want to kind of get an idea of what we're working with. Sarah, hi. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So one of the things I want to activate in this container as we're moving forward, and continue to go ahead and put what you're naming and claiming in the chat. And if you're not comfortable putting what you're naming and claiming in the chat, I highly encourage you to do it, by the way, because it's really powerful exercise and it literally like inserts your intention into this container. But if for whatever reason you're not comfortable doing it, please just at least write it down on a piece of paper so that you're literally actioning the words. It's really important. It's important in manifestation. It's important to, energetic alignment is everything. And being able to energetically back the thing that you desire is how we create instant and rapid manifestation. So, I guess I need to quit my WhatsApp so we're not hearing ding, ding, ding all night long. So that's how we create instant and rapid manifestation, is through fully energetically backing the thing that we desire. So I invite you to look at the things that you've listed and ask yourself, am I able to fully get behind that? Am I able to fully energetically back that I am worthy and deserving of that thing and that I can have that thing? Because it is in the doubt and it is in the non-believing that we sabotage and that we don't instantly manifest. So just little little kind of side note, I encourage you to really look at it. And again, from a place of curiosity and non-judgment, if you look back over it and you're like, wow, like, yeah, I'm on board energetically with that part and that part, but that part feels sticky. Like I'm not fully on board. I'm not fully aligned with that. That's okay. Just hold an awareness of it as we move through the evening. Okay, so I am going to actually run our Spiritual Money Mastery Masterclass Healy scan now. And I'm going to photo our container. And I am going to record the vibration of the group. Oh, we have 2 Heelys in the house. So my Heely, it's asking me which Heely to connect to. There's one wall over from me. Okay. I've now recorded our vibration. Okay, and so now I want everyone to just hold the intention with me as we move into the analysis of what it is that we need from Healy to remove any limiting beliefs, perceived blocks, emotional conditioning, and programming that is keeping us from fully embracing abundance, prosperity, worthiness, and deserving. And anything needed to help and assist us in moving into full belief in our personal expansion and in our infinite potential, and being able to reach out into the quantum field to that version of us that exists in the infinite now, that already has the thing that we desire, and pulling that version of ourselves to us. So let's hold that intention. One part of that, any part of that that stuck with you as I perform the analysis. Okay. So I'll break these down so that you guys know what we're working with, and then I will vibrate these things into the container. So we have as the biggest priority a Healy Gold cycle. So I'm going to go look and see what that is. Followed by Healy Pain and Psyche programs, then followed by Healy Learning programs, Healy Sleep programs, and Healy Protection programs. All right. So now that we have our list, I want you to hold the intention with what do we have the greatest resonance now? So again, holding the intention now that we have the list with what do we have the greatest resonance now as we move into the gold programs. Again, with the intention of everything that we mentioned before as it pertains to this evening. Okay, so we have care and release. So Healy Care program is, what it states is, we see a weakened bioenergetic field as a reason for many acute and chronic diseases. So this is to strengthen your energy field through appropriate, it says to strengthen your energy field through appropriate exercise, healthy nutrition, and pure water. Care means caring. In other words, preventing a multitude of bioenergetic disorders. So this has been coming up a lot for me in my Healy scans. And I loved actually what Sarah, who's on the call, what she said about care, that it's like this hug, like it's like Healy giving you a hug. And so it's there for those of us that, certainly those of us that are expending a lot of energy caring for others, and need that care, need that inner care. And then we have release. So release is a program that has to do with detox in some ways. It is a program where we work systemically in the bioenergetic field of the body to clear unpleasant sensations. And I will tell you that there are going to be some unpleasant sensations that come up for you over the course of this evening as we're talking about removing these blocks and as you're taking on new information. So I think it's really important and very relevant that care and release would come up in the first scan. So now we are going to move into pain and psyche programs. Let's see what it has for us there. And holding the intention with what do I have the greatest resonance now? With what do we have the greatest resonance now? And the intentions that we previously set. So we have some physical things. So chronic back pain, migraine, chronic pain. What's standing out to me here though is anxiety and depression. So certainly clearing up some of these other pain-related things that can be symptoms of anxiety, depression, that can be symptoms of emotional conditioning and programming, certainly. Storing money programming and money conditioning can absolutely manifest and show up as any physical symptom in your life. So some of you may be experiencing chronic back pain. Some of you may be experiencing migraine. Some of you may be experiencing chronic pain, fibromyalgia. And then for me, like intuitively, what's really jumping out for me here is chronic pain and anxiety. Karen says, care is Mother Nature's hug. I love that. I love it. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to move into Healy learning, which is what we're doing tonight, right? We're learning in this masterclass, so that's beautiful. We'll see what we need to assist with that. With what do we hold the greatest resonance now in Healy learning programs that will benefit us the most this evening? Memory, learning acute, concentration acute, exam acute, and stress systemic. So yeah, so we want to retain this information, right? We absolutely want to retain this information. We're going to be in an acute stage of learning. I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of information. You want to be able to concentrate. You want to be able to recall. So we've got this exam acute, right? And then you want to be able to manage stress, any stress that arises or comes up as a result of any of the work that we do tonight. So beautiful. Love that. Here for it. And now we're going to look at sleep programs, which for me is so much about the restoration required on the other side of doing work like this, right? So as we move into this processing tonight, as we move into this learning, as we're taking on all these new concepts and ideas, as we're allowing Healy to do what it needs to do the healing and clearing inside the container, But as we're also doing our healing and clearing with the elemental emotional resonance clearing, restoration and healing is going to be huge, right? So let's see what it's got for us as we move into sleep, either immediately after this class for some of us or hours from now as we're going to bed tonight. Sleep is always a huge part of integration. So holding with what do we have the greatest resonance as a collective inside Healy Sleep programs. Here we have bed rest, so going to sleep, sleep systemic, fine flow, and balanced sleep. Let me read you about fine flow. So fine flow is bioenergetic activation through ionic movement in the body. Balanced sleep is bioenergetic balancing of the deep sleep phase. So that's really where integration happens, right? Especially for emotional clearing and conditioning. So I'm not surprised at all that sleep showed up here, because you're going to integrate during your waking hours, but during your sleep state is really when you integrate emotional conditioning and programming release and that work that we do and that we'll be doing tonight. So sleep systemic is bioenergetic optimized changing into delta state, so deep sleep. And then we have bed rest, which is bioenergetic promotion of parasympathetic functions, so recovery and relaxation. So love it. Obviously, really, really relevant. And we're just going to check one more, which is the protection programs. And again, asking with what do we have the greatest resonance in this collective for healing and clearing that needs to take place tonight in regards to protection programs. So we have cell protection, bioenergetic strengthening of the cell. We have sleeping, so energetic protection during sleeping. We have mental, energetic promotion of clear perceptual capacity. And we have subtle, energetic protection against external influence. And then planets, so harmonizing of the influences of the planets. So those are our frequencies and vibrations that we are going to be feeding into the container. And we are now going to vibrate this healing into the container for, let's see here, where's my, here we go, do a manual time of 1 hour and 40 minutes. All right, there we go. We're in business. So excited about this. I'm loving using the Healy. It's like to be able to just tap into the information field of each and every one of you inside this container and send the support that you need as we move through this work is invaluable. So for me, one of the things that I've been noticing is integration is happening so much quicker, right? So stuff that would generally take weeks is taking hours. So I love that the Healy Sleep programs showed up, because and we'll test in how long the integration is going to take from all of this work when we're done with the call this evening. But I love that the Healy Sleep programs came up, because it's like the next rest, the next sleep that you take, we have an amazing ability to just go in and do powerful integration, and then not have to have an integration period that's, you know, super extended. So loving that, loving. All right. Okay, so let's do the thing, shall we? So spiritual money mastery. Tonight we're talking about energy, vibration, and frequency. Money is energy. Everything is energy. So we know that, right? Money is energy. So what is energy? Energy literally is a force of expression. That is what energy is. And it comes from the word energos, which literally means active and working. And the word energos comes from two root words, en, which means work, that which is wrought, business, action, and then werg, W-E-R-G, which means to do. So literally money is aligned with action. Money, the energy of money is aligned with action. Money is vibration. So what does vibration mean? Vibration means to set something in tremulous motion. So literally the energy of money is always moving. Lack and scarcity happens in stagnation. So when we're experiencing lack, or when we're experiencing stagnation, or we're experiencing lack, when we're experiencing scarcity, when we're feeling that stickiness around money, it's coming from stagnation. It's coming from non-movement, non-action. Money needs flow. The energy of money needs flow states. So money is frequency. And what is frequency? So frequency is the fact of occurring often. Assembling in great numbers. Vibration means assembling in great numbers, and it also means the rate of reoccurrence of a thing. So money is vibration. It is frequency, it is energy, and so literally money desires to multiply, and it is infinite and unlimited in nature. So the energy, vibration, and frequency of money, I want to say this again because I want you guys this really to land with you. The energy, the vibration, and frequency of money is infinite and unlimited in nature. It's energy, vibration, and frequency. So to believe that money is limited is to believe that energy, vibration, and frequency is limited. So nobody believes that those things are limited, right? You don't believe that energy is limited. You don't believe that vibration is limited. You don't believe that frequency is limited. Money is all of those things. So we assign negative associations to money. We assign, very material, tangible associations to it. A dollar bill, a bar of gold, a number in a bank account. But the truth is that money is just energy, vibration, and frequency. And so it is unlimited and infinite in nature. So if you take nothing else from this masterclass tonight and you take that away and you start pondering that idea and you start really onboarding and taking on that understanding that money is energy, vibration, and frequency, and as such, it is unlimited and infinite in nature, things are going to rapidly shift for you just from doing that. I remember the first time that I really started understanding this, and I stopped looking at money as something tangible that I could hold in my hand, or something tangible that I could see in my bank balance, or something conceptual like the Federal Reserve full of a bunch of gold bars, which obviously no longer exists. But when I really started tapping into the energetic vibration and frequency of money and realized that all I had to do to access its infinite nature is align my energy with the energy of money, align my frequency with the frequency of money, align my vibration with the vibration of money. That's really when I began to see significant shifts in my tangible results, right? In the tangible number in my bank balance, in the actual currency I could hold in my hands, in how I could actually conceptualize money. So what are the steps to doing this, right? Like, obviously it's great. We can sit here and say money's energy, money's vibration, money's frequency. You can understand it at some level, But how do you get yourself energetically aligned with it? How do you get fully on board with it? Well, it all begins with your belief and intention. If you're here in this masterclass, I'm assuming you know at least something about the quantum field. I'm assuming that you're on board with money getting to be something more than the currency that you currently hold in your wallet or that you deposit into your bank account. For me, I love the idea of money being spiritual in nature because it gives me an ability to really feel into something that I desire and have a positive association with it. So money's neither good nor bad. It's not negative, it's not positive, it just is, right? It is a neutral resource, it is a neutral energy, it is a neutral vibration, it is a neutral frequency. We make associations onto that vibration, onto that energy, onto that frequency. And because we are so powerful, we are such powerful beings, and we have the ability to manipulate energy, vibration, and frequency and matter with our minds and with our intention and with our belief. When we are continually putting negative association and negative connotation onto money, money becomes negative. And so for me, it's absolutely this choice. Do I choose to look at money as something that controls me or manipulates me or is bad or is evil? Or do I choose to create positive associations onto money, that it is my ally, that it is a resource for me to use, that it loves me, that it loves being in my vibration, that it loves being in my frequency, that it's magnetized to me? Because when I choose one or the other, when I choose the negative or I choose the positive, that is what manifests in my life. You are that powerful. You are that powerful of a being. Now, here's the thing. It's much, much easier to align ourselves with the negative. And negative manifestation happens so much more quickly than positive manifestation. So you have to be really careful. This is where minding your mind and minding your mouth comes into play. You've got to mind those thoughts. You've got to mind your words, because negative manifestation is instantaneous and it's happening every second of every day. And so think about that for a moment. Think about all the negative thoughts that go through your mind in a day. Think about how many things are out of alignment in your life right now. How many things that you wish were different? How many things that you're frustrated about and you believe that can't be changed because you simply just believe that they are? Think about all of that stuff. Now think about how often you think about them, and think about how often you have negative thoughts and negative associations and negative connotations with those things. Guaranteed, some of those things are on replay in your bandwidth, and you're thinking about them over and over and over, and you're reinforcing that negativity, and you're reinforcing that limitation, and you're reinforcing your inability to change that thing. And as long as you're reinforcing that, you're going to continue to manifest that negativity. And it happens like that. Positive manifestation, it takes practice, because we are so, especially when it comes to money, because we are programmed and conditioned to be kept small, especially as spiritual people. The global financial agenda and the global financial elite do not want spiritual people stepping fully into their power, because it would upset the very delicate balance that's happening right now globally on this planet. So we do not want spiritual people stepping into their power, because then they're going to realize that they don't need the governments, they don't need the banks, they don't need all the regulations, right? That they can govern themselves, and they can do it in a much more abundant and lucrative way. So we are programmed and conditioned from the time we take our first breath on this planet to have negative associations and connotations with money. And that is reinforced over and over and over in our lives. We are raised to believe that we are powerless. We are raised to believe that we have no control over money. We are raised to believe that we are indebted to the governments of the countries in which we are born simply for being born. So literally, we're born and we're indebted to those countries and governments to give them a portion of our earnings simply because we were born in that country. Think about that for a minute. Just think about that. Just contemplate that for just a moment, right? We're literally controlled from the time we take our first breath on this planet. We're literally programmed to have negative associations with money, to feel that we are powerless, to feel that we are out of control, and to feel that we are not worthy and we are not deserving of keeping and holding on to everything that we earn. So those of you that have issues holding money, it's because you've literally been conditioned from the time you took your first breath that you are not worthy and deserving of holding on to your money, that you are indebted to somebody simply because you were born. And as a result of that, you owe that money to the powers that be, to that global financial elite that control the global financial agenda. So, and then on top of that, let's talk about how not only are you carrying your own programming and conditioning around that, but you are carrying all the programming and conditioning of all of your ancestral lines, both maternal and paternal. You are carrying it in your ancestral DNA. So we have scientifically proven now that you carry 7 generations of ancestral DNA in your cells. I believe it's much, much more. That's all we've been able to prove at this point, right? But so think about that. These are your parents and the money traumas and the scarcity and the lack, things that they experience. This is their parents going through the Great Depression, being born into times that were completely tumultuous globally. This is their parents who were trying to provide for children during the Great Depression and during the world wars, and their parents. And I mean, just think about the scarcity and the lack and the money trauma that exists. So not only are you carrying your own shit that's been programmed and conditioned into you, so from the time you took your first breath, but you're carrying all of the shit of your ancestors. It's a heavy cross to bear, right? So people wonder, like when you start looking about this and we start looking at this and you start thinking about this, like now you begin to understand, now you begin to realize why we all have money shit, why it's so difficult to break free from this. Why, like, I mean, and it's different for everyone, right? Like why I can earn all this money, but I can't hold it. I can earn all this money, but I can't keep it. It's like it flows through my hands like water. Or I can't make money, or I simply can't receive. I have difficulty receiving. It's generations and generations and generations of programming and conditioning that is designed to keep you exactly where you are right now, which is feeling disempowered, in lack, in scarcity, feeling frustrated, wondering why you can't sort things out, wondering why you can't ever seem to get ahead, no matter how much money you make, right? No matter how much money you have in savings, no matter how many assets you have, like literally the richest people on this planet still have money shit that they're sorting through because they've been programmed to have it. So we've got all this negativity, right? All this negativity that we're trying to combat. So you can see, why is wealth consciousness work so important? But why is wealth consciousness work so difficult? Why does it require rigorous discipline and daily practice to shift it? Well, because literally it's been a part of every single thing. Holly motorbikes, hold on. Right when I was on a roll. It's literally been a part of every single thing that we've experienced since we took our first breath on this planet, right? Before, when we were eggs in our grandmother's wombs, right? We were experiencing the trauma that she was experiencing when we were eggs in our grandmother's wombs. Think about that. Our grandmothers who were born or were very little and growing up during the Great Depression, during the Second World War, First World War. I'm not good with history. The wars, growing up during the wars, in poverty, in lack, in scarcity. Let me just drink more of my hay tea. We'll pull it back in. We'll get it back together. The Bali motorbikes threw me off my flow state. Okay, so it's part of why it's so difficult to assign these positive associations, because there's so much negative. The scale is tipped so heavily to the side of negativity, to the side of, I mean, it's so imbalanced, right? So What does it require of us? It requires discipline. It requires that we show up for ourselves. It requires that we go all in. It requires that we believe. It requires that we have faith. And let me tell you something, faith is not the thing that you wake up in the morning with and just have. Faith is something that requires blood, sweat, and tears. Faith is something that, you know, at the 13th hour when the thing hasn't happened and you still hold on to hope, you still hold on to belief, that's faith, right? That is the level of belief that I'm talking about when I say that belief and intention are the two most powerful tools in your toolbox, aside from decision, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So belief and intention, believing that you can. Wisdom and knowledge is everything. So now you have this information. Now you're starting to see this picture of what this programming has looked like and why perhaps you are experiencing the things that you're experiencing, right? You're starting to see the picture. In my course that I'll be talking about later, Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game, we're going to talk a lot about this, about how we got here, because knowledge is power. To know is to be able to grow. To know something and to understand it is to be able to grow out of it, is to be able to take back control of your financial destiny, but you have to know how you got there in the first place, right? So I've got internet connection unstable. Can you guys see me? Okay, cool. So belief and intention. We are so powerful. We are so much more powerful than we know. And the reinforcement of positive associations on to money. Yes, it requires discipline. Yes, it requires constantly reinforcing those beliefs and those associations, but we are powerful and we have the ability to shift it. And once we have full knowledge and understanding of how we got to where we are, it begins to get easier to shift it. Once we can identify these patterns and we can deconstruct these limiting beliefs and we can deconstruct this programming and we can really get to the bottom of where it comes from and rip it out by its roots, the positive associating becomes so much easier. But it's belief and intention. It's belief that you can get there. It's belief that it's a desire for something to change, for something to be better. It's a belief that it can be. It's a belief that you are worthy and deserving of more than you're experiencing in this life right now. And it is intention to get there at all costs, do whatever it takes to shift from financial slavery consciousness, which is where all of us are existing right now, into emancipation from that and into reclaiming our financial destinies. And let me tell you something, there has never been a better time to reclaim your financial destiny than right now, because we are beginning to see an entire shift and change in the current wealth paradigm. There's a lot of stuff happening astrologically that's supporting this, one of them being Uranus and Taurus. We are going to see a total shift in how this planet does money. We're going to see rise of cryptocurrencies, obviously, and we're going to see a dismantling and a deconstruction of the global financial institutions as we know them at this point. It's coming this year. It's happening already. And over the next 5 years, we're going to see a huge shift in this. So it is intention that now you, like right now in this moment, right now on this call, deciding to shift, deciding that now is the time to reclaim your financial destiny. There's never been a better time, right? Our governments are unstable at best. I mean, everything that's been happening in the world over the last several months is leading up to this entire shift in the wealth paradigm. You have the power. And with this knowledge that then leads to you being able to grow, this stepping into the belief that you are omnipowerful and omnipotent, reclaiming your financial destiny and deciding that there is something more for you and that you are worthy and deserving of having that thing. It's then getting into alignment with that belief and that intention to get there at all costs, that belief that you can get there, and then aligning yourself to that intention and to that belief. So there's lots of ways that we align ourselves to it, right? But it does require discipline. It does require you showing up. It does require you doing the work. And I wish that I could say that you can do the work and not put in and not invest your most precious resources in it. It just doesn't work like that. It's just the universal law of shifting your wealth consciousness is that you have to be invested. You have to have skin in the game. You have to be financially invested. You have to be invested with your time, and you certainly need to be invested with your energy. So I still do 30 minutes to an hour of wealth consciousness work most days because I know the power of it. I know how important it is. I am constantly looking to grow and expand in that area of my life. And it's not just because that's what I do. It's because I enjoy my life of financial and economic freedom. I am constantly shooting towards greater and greater realities of financial freedom and economic independence. I want to be fully emancipated from financial slavery consciousness and not be in a place where I need to be controlled by the global financial elite. And so there is time for me every single day that is dedicated towards not only emancipating myself, but emancipating all of you. So it requires work. It requires sacrifice. It requires dedication. It requires you going all in if you truly desire and intend to change this in your life. So it's getting into alignment with it, right? And your decision. So your decision is so powerful. This is the thing that makes you omnipowerful, is your decision. Because you, as a human being on this planet, have the ability to decide that there is no other option. So what does the word decide mean? The word decision literally means to cut out all other options. So you get to decide that financial slavery consciousness, lack, scarcity, poverty, inability to receive, inability to hold on to money, that those things are no longer going to be your reality. You get to decide. You get to decide that. You get to cut out all other options, but the thing that you're intending and the thing that you believe is there and available for you in the infinite now. And then you have to follow it up with your action. So this is the part that is so important. Because you can believe and you can intend and you can get yourself into alignment and you can listen to all the wealth consciousness work and you can listen to my podcast on repeat every day and you can do all of my programs. But if you don't go out and action this in your life, if you don't start creating change in your own life, right? If you don't take the steps necessary for you to change things, it's all for null. Like it's pointless, right? So aligning with your beliefs and intention, deciding to cut out all other options and that there is no plan B, right? There is only plan A, and then taking inspired action. Then aligning yourself to the divine guidance, connecting to source, God, universe, all that is, whatever you call it, and taking inspired action day after day after day after day. And being rigorously disciplined in that taking of inspired action. One of the things that I say all the time is that I don't take any action at all until I know the exact right next inspired action to take. This frustrates my team to no end because they will literally be like, hey, Leah, we need to make a decision on this thing. And I'm like, I don't have the guidance yet. I don't have the guidance and I will not act. I refuse to act until I know the exact next right action to take. I just won't, because I know that in order for me to be successful, I have to be fully aligned. I have to fully understand, and I need to be able to get my decision behind it. And that is to cut out all other options. And I cannot do that if I am not completely certain, right? Here's where the certainty comes in. And in that certainty, I can then take confident action. And then my confident action yields results. Okay, so that was a bit, right? what questions do you guys have as of this point? I really intended for this masterclass to be interactive. I want you to ask questions. I want to be able to clarify anything that I've covered up until this point that you have questions about. Looks like I was a little glitchy for a minute. I'm going to read some comments. I can feel the Healy in, I feel the Healy in my third eye. My third eye is going crazy right now. It's like, it feels like my whole forehead feels like it's vibrating at the moment. What are we on right now? Sleep, it's vibrating sleep programs, protection programs. It's going through the whole process. Good aha moments, really hitting people hard. 7 generations, boom. Cool, cool, cool. Throat, third eye. Okay, questions, no questions? You guys ready for me to move on? Take a little water break. What does my 30 to 60 minute daily practice look like? Okay, so it's different every day. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I do though. Clearing work. So I'm currently taking myself through the spiral with a money, wealth, and abundance focus individually. And then I'm also taking a group of people through the spiral with a money, wealth, and abundance focused in my alchemical wealth program. But personally, I'm taking myself through the spiral again, which is an energetic clearing modality that I'm a practitioner, an advanced practitioner of. And so that is part of the work that I do. I'm always reading a book or 5. I mean, literally, like if you got in my Kindle or so I do both. I read, and then I also listen to audiobooks. Right now, I'm reading this incredible book that I'm like loving, which is 50 Cent's book, actually. It's called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. And so I'm listening to the audiobook and I'm reading the book of that. And it's fascinating to me. Like, I love getting different perspectives on wealth building, financial success. So at any given time, I'm reading stuff from, I'm also going back through, oh my gosh, what's the name of it? Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. So I'm in the middle of that again, Outwitting the Devil. So I'm reading stuff and absorbing content and information from 50 Cent to Napoleon Hill, right? Like the oldest wealth teacher and someone new that's writing about wealth consciousness work, right? So I love, Michelle and I love 50 Cent. Hi, Michelle. But so reading and absorbing and listening. I am a huge proponent of solfeggio frequencies, as some of you that have been in my programs know, which is just crazy because it's like, even prior to Healy getting here, I've been so on board and in line with vibration and frequency that I have all of these money healing playlists on my Spotify. So you can literally go follow me on Spotify. I think I'm Leah Steele Barnett there. But there's several money healing playlists that are solfeggio frequencies that I've intuitively like gathered these tracks together for money healing. And so I'm constantly listening to playlists of solfeggio frequencies playing in the background. I always listen to them as I'm getting massages or I'm getting body work of any kind or acupuncture. I've always got my solfeggio frequencies playing with the intention of healing ancestral money trauma, releasing money trauma from my DNA. So those playlists are available. We'll definitely drop the links to those in the Facebook group. I'm going to begin making my list now. Masterclass. Money healing playlists. So we'll give you access to those. But again, you can also just go follow me on Spotify. It'll be an interesting browse for you. You'll see how eclectic my music tastes are, from like hardcore rap to like country, classical music, solfeggio frequencies. I like it all. New wave, 80s favorite, love. Michelle will tell you that, yes, I'm a huge Biggie and Tupac fan, and I know all the words to all the Biggie and Tupac songs, and I will rap along with that music, as she saw in a tattoo parlor in Bali one day, and I think she like almost fell out of her chair. There's lots of surprises to me. Michelle has videos of it. Okay, so that was during that tattoo session, the Philosopher's Stone tattoo. So what else do I do? So reading books. There are podcasts that I enjoy listening to. And so if I'm on the go, or, you know, I'm limited in my time, I'll pop on a playlist if I'm headed somewhere, or while I'm in the shower, or while I'm getting ready in the morning. I love listening to audiobooks while I'm getting ready. It's like, if I don't have any other time during the day, it's like I can find these little 10-minute time periods that I can do some of this work, right? And it's this law of compounding, right? So often, like, we won't do it because we're like, I don't have a half an hour to sit down and do it, or I don't have an hour to sit down and do it. But I guarantee you, you have, you know, 3 10-minute periods during your day that you can listen to an audiobook, or you could listen to a solfeggio frequency playlist, or you could sit down and read for 10 minutes. Like, everyone can find that time. Meditation is a big one for me. So meditation for wealth consciousness is huge. I love Joe Dispenza's abundance meditation. It's an amazing one. Next level. Joe Dispenza meditation in general is a big part of my wealth consciousness practice, because I'm always going into my Joe Dispenza meditations with, you know, the intention of accessing the quantum field and calling in that next highest version of myself to myself. And that always encompasses abundance and prosperity and worthiness and deserving. What else do I do? Healy now is a part of my abundance and prosperity practice. I'm not quite sure how, because I'm trusting Healy, but I also know that, like, that's what I am. It's my frequency, it's my vibration. And so anything that I'm doing is drawing abundance to me. I'm a projector in human design. So a big part of what I need to do is make my aura attractive. In making my aura attractive, I literally magnetize money to me. I literally magnetize abundance to me, because I'm manifesting and magnetizing my people to me. So self-care is really big for me, and making sure that I'm like getting enough rest and that I'm laying down for a few hours every day. So really caring for myself. So that's another thing that, you know, I don't feel like it fulfills your 30 to an hour of wealth consciousness work a day, but it is definitely a really, really important ancillary part of your practice, is making sure that you're practicing really good self-care, regardless of what, you know, profile type you are, and what your authority is and all of that. What else do I do wealth consciousness wise? I mean, I'm always researching. I'm super into astrology, and how astrology shows up in people's charts. And so I'm constantly researching like planets and money associations, and same with human design. I'm fascinated by different gates and lines that have to do with money. I'm in the middle of taking a human design course by Ra, who is the founder of human design, called the 64 Ways. And it's all about the third line, which is the material line, which is literally basically the money line. So I'm in the middle of that course, taking that course. So there's tons of stuff that I do, right? In addition to all my teaching that I do on wealth consciousness work, which is basically like all day, every day. I basically live, eat, sleep, breathe wealth consciousness work all day, every day. Okay. I feel like I don't know the next right actions to take. Can you explain this more? Yeah, so for me, this came from knowing self and trusting self. I know the next right action to take because I'm okay waiting, because I've developed and cultivated that connection with source, because I check in with that connection with source 2 or 3 times a day, asking for guidance, asking for clarity. I have a pretty disciplined journaling practice where I continue to ask for clarity. And so I know that the answers will come, and I wait until I get a full soul yes on an answer before I take action. So I think that knowing that it's the right inspired action, it comes from the soul and not from the mind. It's not a negotiation. It's not a suggestion made by the mind. It's a knowing in the body. It's a knowing from the soul. And so that's how I know, like, if I get the knowledge that, like, yep, that's the action to take, then I take it. How long have I been doing this clearing work on a regular basis? Oh my goodness. Well, how long have I been doing wealth consciousness work? My whole life, I feel like. But clearing, emotional clearing in particular, I've been doing for about 3 years. As a practitioner for about 3 years. I'm the same way with music, depends on my mood. Yeah, me, absolutely. We're gonna have so much fun when we hang out together. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so what is coming up in the container collectively right now, or individually, like, but we're all in this field together right now. So whatever we're feeling is something that's there in the collective. So I want to do some clearing with you guys. And I know something else I wanted to talk about, actually. We're going to hold that thought for a moment. One of the things that I love doing with money is this idea of, like, what's this class called? Spiritual money mastery, right? So one of the things that I love doing with money is, in my positive associations and making my positive associations with money, is, for me, I'm a very spiritual person, and money gets to be spiritual. Money, having money, spending money, being a custodian of money, it gets to be a spiritual experience for you if you choose that that's what you want it to be. For me, my relationship with money is very reverent. I feel like there's a mutual worship in my relationship with money. I worship money, money worships me. I am reverent of money, money is reverent of me. And a lot of people would listen to this and be like, oh my God, she's, it's of the devil. She's worshiping money. Thou shalt not, blah, 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 blah. Programming, Bible, programming. That's another masterclass. But here's the thing, like, money gets to be spiritual. I get to have a spiritual experience with money. And the more I have a spiritual experience with money, and the more I have reverence, and I am enamored by, and I am in a relationship of mutual worship with money, the more flows to me, the more I magnetize, the more I attract. So it gets to be spiritual. You get to have that beautiful, divine relationship with the energy, vibration, and frequency of money. Because the truth is that you're just vibration and frequency and energy, right? You're made up of the same thing. So to enter into a relationship with money where you are not separate from money, you're not, there is a oneness in, and if you embrace the oneness in that relationship, it's so much easier to enter into flow states where you're able to easily manifest and easily call abundance to you. So one of the things that we do in the Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game course is we do some clears around having money in our heart. I'm okay with having money in my heart. I'm okay with being in money's heart. And we talk about, like, what would it be like to take money as your lover? What would it be like to treat money like God, right? So what would it be like to treat money like God? To have that type of reverence for money, to worship money at that level. What would it be like to treat money as your lover? To have that sensual and sexual energetic exchange with money? What would it be like to have money as your spouse or your significant other? To have that level of respect, to have that level of trust and communication and interaction. So, internet connection unstable. Can you guys see me? Okay, cool. Max Headroomish. Oh, great. This is going to be fun to watch on the replay. All of those might not feel right for you. One of them might. I alternate between all of them. Sometimes I'm in a relationship with money like it's God. Sometimes I'm in a relationship with money like it's my lover. Sometimes I'm in a relationship with money like it's my significant other. But play with that. What does it feel like to play with that? What does it feel like to enter into relationship with money? What does it feel like to have money be spiritual, be a spiritual experience in your life? Talk about debt. Does having debt slow the flow of abundance? Absolutely not. So debt is a choice. I have a really epic live stream that I do called Let's Talk About Debt. And I will put the video in the group. Make myself another little note there for Mallory so she can take care of that for us. So debt is a choice. And again, we give negative association to debt because that is what we are programmed and conditioned to do, because it is a way to keep us in control, to keep us in a place of buyer's remorse, to keep us in a place of doubt of self, whether or not it was a good idea to get into that debt, to keep us engaged in constant self-gratifying behaviors where we overextend ourselves with debt, because our overextension leads to us paying astronomical interest to banks, right? And so again, like a lot of this knowledge and wisdom is too much to go into in a 2-hour masterclass, right? Like if this stuff is up your alley and you're just like, oh my God, I need more of this. I need more of this in my life. I need to shift this stuff. I need to understand. I need more wisdom and knowledge. Like Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game is for you. It's a 10-week course. It's starting on the 1st of June. And we're going to be going in depth into all of this stuff so that you have a deep understanding of how we got here, why we're here, and how we get out of it. It includes group calls with me. It includes clearing. We'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. But debt's a choice. It's a choice that you made at a certain time in your life. And because some of us are so riddled with debt and it's so overwhelming and it seems so insurmountable, we associate negative emotion to it. The trick and the hack to getting out of debt is to move from a place of negative association to a place of gratitude and appreciation. And then to a place where you fully know that you have a choice to stay into debt or to move out of debt, and that you get to make a decision about whether or not that debt's serving you anymore, and that you get to take your power back and you get to pay it off either slowly or quickly, whatever feels best to you. And that you absolutely have the ability to manifest all of that money and more to either pay it off quickly or pay it off slowly. So, but it's gratitude, right? It's entering into a place of gratitude for what that debt gave you in the time that you incurred it, and being forgiving of yourself, and being gracious with yourself for that version of you that either knew better or didn't at the time, and recognizing and realizing that you're a different person now and that you're stepping into a new way of being and you're stepping into a new higher version of yourself, with each moment of every day and with each action you take towards becoming a better custodian of money, with each action that you take of up-leveling your wealth consciousness, with each level that you take of shifting your wealth paradigm, forgiving yourself, being grateful for that version of yourself, being easeful with that version of yourself, right? And then looking at what did you get from it, even if it was just a lesson, even if what you got from the debt was a lesson that you'll take with you in the future that you won't repeat, having gratitude for that. That is how we quickly shift and move out of debt. And knowing that you have a choice. You have a choice to pay it or not pay it. You have a choice to pay it off quickly or pay it off slowly, whatever feels best to you, right? And this is like some of the stuff where, again, it's too much to go into on this 2-hour masterclass, where there has to be a mindset shift around the rules and regulations and laws that you perceive to be true around debt and debt collection and government and owing government certain amounts of money and things like that. Like there's a whole shift of consciousness that has to take place there, that takes some time to move through. But those are the things that enable you to step into places of choice. Those are the things that enable you to step into empowerment when it comes to your debt, and to not stay in a place of disempowerment when it comes to debt. Okay. So now that we've talked about this stuff, we've put some stuff into the container. Our Healy is just going over here. Currently sending us vibrations on learning. So now we're absorbing all of the information that I've just given. I want to do some clearing with you guys. So I want to know, what are some of the things that I've said in this call that have triggered you? What are some of the things that feel sticky to you? What are some of the things that are particularly challenging your beliefs? What are some of the things that you're like, she's fucking up in the night and doesn't know what she's talking about? So post some of those in the chat box, and then we will clear some stuff. While you guys are putting that in the chat box, I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about mastering your spiritual money game. So the course starts on June 1st. This is an entry-ish level. It's kind of entry to mid-level course with me. It is 10 weeks, and it is a lot of content, a lot of education on all of the things that we've been talking about tonight, a lot more expanded and detailed information. It does include 2 group clearing calls with me. It includes 2 Q&A sessions with me. And ordinarily, this is a pre-recorded course, but because of everything that's happening in the world right now, I'm actually coming in and doing 4 new content modules over the 10-week period. So it gives you an opportunity to actually be live on content with me, interacting, contributing. And then there are 5 pre-recorded content modules. There's tons and tons of resources that we drop in there, from money trackers to meditations to activations. There's heaps and heaps of stuff that you'll have access to by being a part of the course. And it is $1,111 for the 10 weeks. And there's an epic payment plan available. I don't even know what it is right now. I guess I could look it up. These are the things that I'm like not good at, you guys. Let me tell you what the payment plan is so that you know. I love a payment plan. Energetically, I love monthly recurring revenue. So it's one of the ways that I align myself energetically with money. I want my stuff to be accessible to people regardless of their ability to pay in the moment, because I know how powerful this work is at popping people through their limitations and through their perceived blocks. And so I love doing payment plans to make this stuff accessible. 6 payments of $222, 6 monthly payments of $222, or pay in full of $1,111. So if you're feeling the feeling and you're feeling the things and you're like, I need more of this in my life, then definitely you should come join me in Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game. So that was my need to do the promo that this class is about. It's there, it's done, which really isn't the purpose of these classes, but we do have a course coming up, and it's epic, and it's all of this stuff, and it will radically transform and change your life. I can promise you that. You will leave a completely different person than you were when you started. Okay, let's look at these things. We've got a bunch of stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. We've got a lot of stuff here. Okay, so we've got worthiness to receive, worthiness, and ability to receive. Okay, we've got money takes a long time to show up. Radical responsibility and custodianship. Okay. How to believe in self. Knowing what to do with money. Okay. Being born and owned financially by the government was huge. Yeah. Yep. Social security numbers. Yep. How to achieve alignment with money flow and stay there. State of money flow. Yeah, carrying ancestral money trauma. Yep. Do you feel that needing to move from my heart center? Amy, what round of Ouroboros were you in? You got, did you do the generational clear, the 8 branches of your family tree? Reinforcing positive associations, thoughts around money, and not obsessively focusing on negative. Yeah. Belief that I have to earn instead of receive. Yeah. Okay. Fear around debt. Ashamed of debt. Ignoring debt. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 7 generations of ancestral DNA. Clearing debt consciousness and limiting beliefs around coming into choice. Okay, so we definitely need to do a little clearing around debt, which we'll do. Worthy of wealth. Trusting, believing, getting into alignment. Okay. Put a note in the group. We're back to 27 people. Tell everyone, come back. I ran some programs on my hedgehog last night. Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay. Yeah, Bali internet, you guys. Carry on, Hada. You guys should be used to it. You've been dealing with Bali internet for years. We've got 28 back. We'll wait just like 2 more minutes for people to come back, and then we'll jump into the clearing. Oh, but guess what? So I got cut off at worthy of wealth and then alignment. And whatever you guys wrote underneath that, I don't have access to. I was in the process of writing down all the stuff. So if you were after, we had like ashamed of debt and fear of debt, worthy of wealth, alignment. These are the things that I have. So worthiness and ability to receive, money takes a long time to show up, radical responsibility and custodianship of money, how to believe in self, knowing what to do with money and how to make money work for us, achieve and stay in a state of money flow, belief I have to earn versus receive, ashamed of debt / fear of debt, being worthy of wealth, alignment with money, wealth, receiving, abundance, prosperity, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I have. If what you wrote wasn't encompassed in one of those things, then definitely like rewrite it in the chat box. Do not want that internet is unstable message to come up anymore. We really want Zoom to get their shiz together and let us just be on here for the next 30 minutes or so to get our clearing done. No, I didn't get the one around worshiping, being able to hold on to money and not allowing it to slip through. Okay. If I work hard, it will be taken away. That is programming. Some of the most insidious programming there is. So it's like, why even earn money? It'll just be taken away from me. Significant others, limiting view. Yeah, that's a big one. Being owned by the government, big trigger, yeah. Figuring out how, that's a big one. Listen, you all need to come do Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game, because we talk about all this stuff in there. We're working on all of these beliefs. Worthiness of money, being owned by the government, yeah. Okay, so we've got 33 back. So we lost 4 somehow along the way, but at least the majority of us made it back, huh? The rest will have to catch on the replay. Hopefully they'll come back. All right, so I'm going to kind of look at these. We obviously don't have time to do all of these. Again, this is why you need to come do money programs with me so we can deep dive into all of this stuff. But let's look at what are the things that we can clear that kind of encompass some of this stuff. So definitely want to do a clear around custodianship of money. Which is encompassing of several of these things. So like, we're going to do a clear around this, but I want to talk about the like knowing what to do with money. So you've been programmed to believe that you don't know how to interact with or what to do with money. You've also been programmed that to be a good steward of money, you have to do certain things. Your custodianship of money is individual. It's everyone's custodianship of money looks differently. And trying to figure out what we should do, or doing the right things, or, figuring out what to do, all of this stuff is programming. This is literally programming and conditioning that's been placed upon you. How you have to decide what good custodianship of money looks like for you. It's the thing that feels good. It's the thing that feels in alignment for you. And, yes, there are tools and tips that I can give you along the way. And there's a whole module on custodianship of money in Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game that we'll talk about custodianship of money. But ultimately, it's very individual in nature. And you know what to do. You know how to invest. You know, because only you have to tap into what's energetically right for you. And you have to trust yourself, and you have to trust your relationship with money, and you have to trust the energetic exchange between the two entities. That is how we step into full custodianship and stewardship of money. But you already know how, right? You already know. You have the answers inside of you. Looking externally for that guidance, or looking externally for somebody to tell you how to invest or what to do, or what type of savings account you should put it in, or whether you should put it in a savings account or not. Like, all of that is very much about personal alignment and personal stewardship and personal custodianship of money. So I'm definitely going to do a piece around custodianship. And we're going to do a clear around debt. So part of these beliefs around money taking a long time to show up, I want to address this. Oh, we're almost all the way back. We're just missing one person. That's great. Part of this thing around money taking a long time to show up is the thing that we were talking about earlier around all the negative associations versus the positive associations, and the reinforcing of the negative associations, because we're busy rapidly and instantly manifesting the negative instead of rapidly and instantly manifesting the positive, right? That's why it takes money a long time to show up. You've got to clear up these negative associations. And it's like, when we clean all of that up, then we clear up bandwidth that allows us to access the energetic states of money flow. And then money doesn't have to take a long time to show up. How often, I mean, like this is one of those things where you just literally disprove it to yourself. Think back to a time when some random amount of money just showed up. Wasn't there the day before, you had no idea it was going to be there the next day, and it just shows up, right? This happened to me multiple times in my life. And also think about a situation that seemed super, super dire. Think back to a financial situation that seemed super dire, and you thought there was absolutely no way out of it. You had no idea how you were going to make it through it. It seemed hopeless, and the money showed up at the 13th hour. Like, we like to believe that it takes money a long time to show up, because especially as we're doing wealth consciousness work, right? And as we're trying to repattern and reprogram these beliefs, it's like we can sometimes feel like it's sluggish and it's taking a long time, and there's a lot of sticky shits because we have a lot of sticky shit to move through. But we forget all the times where we have instantly manifested, where money has showed up rapidly and instantaneously. And we realize that we're actually spending more time focusing on how money's not showing up than we're spending focusing on how money does show up. For me, it's like every time I just decide that the money's going to show up, and I put all my focus on the money showing up, it shows up, like without fail. If I stop focusing on how it's not showing up and I start focusing on how it's showing up, it shows up. It is the nature of it. You are the creator of your reality. You are a powerful being. You have the ability to manipulate and manifest, but manipulate vibration, frequency, energy, and matter with your mind, with your energy. You just have to decide to do it. Takes a little practice, right? Like, it does take practice shifting from this to this, but you have to have the awareness that you're putting it on the negative associations to say, okay, well, what am I focusing on? Why am I focusing on it not showing up? All right, I'm going to stop focusing on it not showing up. Now I'm going to put all my attention and energy on it showing up, and I'm going to focus solely on that thing. And this isn't the secret or law of attractioning your way to money. This is literally, you are a powerful creator. Decide, become aligned, have belief and intention, and action that belief and intention. Take the actions towards the goal, right? Okay. What other clears do we want to do? Custodianship of money, debt. Got some stuff around receiving. Let's do receivership. Actually going to do receptivity. That achieving and staying in the state of money flow, it's the same thing. It's the constant shifting back. It's developing that practice of when you feel like you're not in the constant state of flow, the shift back, the decision and the choice to shift back to a flow state, to shift back to a manifestation state, to shift back to a creation state from a negative manifestation reality mode, right? And okay, guys, ready to hop into some clearing? This reminds me so much of the practice of the 12 steps. Well, listen, I ran addiction treatment centers for years and years and years, and I have parents that were in recovery, and 12 steps have been a big part of my life. So there's probably a little influence there. I like to tell people I didn't become an addict, but not for lack of trying. And it was certainly in my genes, but I believe it skipped a generation. So I'm probably in big trouble with my kids. This class is the ass kicking I needed to double down on my money alignment and journaling practices. Absolutely. Absolutely. Literally, if you don't do anything else from leaving this course, double down on your wealth consciousness work, right? Yawning already. Sober 15 years. Amazing. Yawning and clearing already. All right, you guys ready to hop into elemental emotional resonance clearing? We are going to start with custodianship of money. So elemental emotional resonance clearing, for those of you that are new to this and haven't done it with me before, is a process where we clear trapped and stored emotion from organs of the body. And we do that using a combination of kinesiology, 5-element theory, Chinese 5-element theory, the Chinese meridian system. And we will use Chinese meridian system acupressure points to release the trapped emotions that are stored in the body. But we also go a step further than just releasing the trapped and stored emotions from the organs of the body. We are also looking at the brain to body connection. So we're looking at the primary question that has been created and reinforced, that neurotransmitter that the myelin has been reinforced around because of the stored and trapped emotion. So we look at, and we also are clearing that question that leads us to reinforce and continue to restore those emotions in the body. So we're clearing both the emotion and the primary question in this clearing practice. So we are going to do it. Amazing. Bijou, you can come back and watch the rest of the clearing. We'll have it uploaded at some point tomorrow because it's split up into 2 points. Now I'm going to have my video person go in and put them together and upload it to YouTube and the whole thing. So we will do that, but it's probably not going to be up as quickly as I would have liked it to be now that we had our little internet shenanigan situation happen in the middle. Okay, so we're going to start with custodianship of money. So I am going into the collective field of this container. So all of the people that registered for this course, whether they're on the call or not, so their registration for the course was the energetic opt-in to have their energy here and present and included in this clearing that we're doing. And so we're going into this collective and we're calling on what is the installment, what is the emotion that needs to be cleared around custodianship of money. We have a wood installment. Justice and dealing with injustice. And this is liver 3. So liver 3 is, let me show you here. So in between the big and middle toe, about an inch down, in between the two tendons, about an inch down, you're gonna rub that point as we're doing this clearing. Clearing justice and dealing with injustice from the liver. So this creates issues with power. And our response is to be over obedient and compliant. And ultimately, we are asking ourselves, why do I not have the power? Okay, so liver 3, rubbing liver 3, both sides, left and right. So here's the thing, right? So are we being a good custodianship of money? So programming, right? This is enforced. What's fair and what's not fair. So we may be frustrated because we feel like it's not fair. The rules that are enforced upon us when it comes to custodianship of money, they're not fair. It's definitely a power grab, right? And so what are we conditioned and programmed to be? Over obedient and compliant. Be a good citizen of your country. Be a good custodian of money, the way that the global financial elite and the powers that be want you to be a good custodian of money. But a lot of it's just feeling like it's not fair, right? And it has to do with power. Like we are not in power. We're not in control. And so as a result, oftentimes we just give up. We just throw up our hands. We're just like, fuck it. Like I'm not in power. I'm not in control. So I'm not going to be a good custodian of my money because it doesn't really matter anyway, right? I don't have it. It's not in my control. It's never going to be in my control. So fuck it. So we either do that or we're like, nope. And they want us to be over obedient and compliant, or we do the things that we're meant to do. We do, go to university and get a good job and take out student loans so that we can go to university, so that we can pay interest to banks on student loans, to banks and governments on student loans, and then get out, get a good job and work hard to get the promotion so that we can buy a house and we can buy a car, so that we can pay interest to banks, so that we can pay our taxes and work hard to get that promotion so we can make more money, so we can pay more taxes to the government, right? We become that over obedient and compliant citizen, and it's not fair, right? And it is an enforcement of perceived justice, what is right, what is the right thing to do, the rules, the dogma of everything that we're taught to believe is right in the world. But ultimately, what are we asking ourselves? Well, why do I not have the power? Why do I not have control over my custodianship of money? Why do I not have control over my stewardship of money? Why do I not have the power? So clearing out justice and dealing with injustice around custodianship of money. Okay, do we have a mother-child? Yes. Is it fire? No. Is it wood? Okay, so we have a mother situation here. Water is the mother of wood. And if you come work with me, you'll learn more about this, but for the purpose of this clear. And I'm burping and I'm yawning because that's what happens when I clear, when I'm moving trapped emotion. So those of you that are new to me, if I start belching, don't be like, what the hell is going on here? Okay, so we move into water now, the water element, and we're in the kidney. And we have a fear installment. And this is kidney 3. So kidney 3 is on the inside of the foot, right directly behind the ankle bone is kidney 3. So you're gonna move there to release this installment from your kidneys. We're gonna do it on both sides, left and right. So we have a fear installment here. And it's about trusting. And our response is to fear the worst and be overly cautious. And ultimately, we're asking ourselves, who can I trust? So who can relate with being afraid of fucking up on your taxes and having the government come after you? Like, who was raised to be terrified of the taxing agencies? Like, if you fuck up, they're going to come take your house. They're going to take everything you have. Like, we were literally just bred to fear these institutions, right? This fear, like, and then we don't trust ourselves, not trusting ourselves. And so then we're fearing the worst. We're being overly cautious. We're double and triple checking everything, but we're still living in this constant state of fear around it, right? And we don't trust. We don't trust because we don't know, because we're purposely kept in the dark about it, right? So, yeah, the government will come and take your things if you go bankrupt. The government will come and take your things if you don't pay your taxes. The government will come and take your things if you mess up in any way in your custodianship of money, right? It's not yours. Like, you can literally lose it at any moment. So why even try to become empowered and become financially independent and free if you're just going to lose it anyway, right? So fear installment here. Okay, do we have a controlling cycle? Yes, we've got a controlling cycle here as well. Okay, is it fire? Is it earth? Okay, so we've got an earth installment here. So earth controls water. So we've got another installment here under custodianship of money. Constant moving. Okay, constant moving is in the spleen. Spleen 3 is, this is a harder picture to see, but so spleen 3 is on the inside of the foot. It's on the side of the foot right down from the, I'm gonna have to demonstrate this one. I'm gonna have to do clearing aerobics for you guys on this call because it's a little bit difficult to see. But it's right down from the knuckle of the big toe. It's literally right underneath it here on the side of the foot. So there, you got your dose of Leah clearing gymnastics on the call. So spleen 3, this has to do with constant moving. It creates issues feeling centered and stable. And our response is melting and merging. And ultimately, we are asking ourselves, how can I feel I belong? So this feeling of lack of power, needing to be over obedient and compliant, things not being fair, and then questioning why we don't have the power, then leads to us like being in this state of fear and not trusting and fearing the worst and being overly cautious and questioning who we can trust. And as a result of that fear, it's like we're in this state of constant moving. We can't rest. We can't be at rest. We don't have the ability to be at rest. And so as a result, we don't feel centered and stable. And then we're constantly melting and merging. This is assimilation. This is the dogma that leads to assimilation. How can I fit in? And so we're melting and merging into all of the things that we believe the institutions, the government, the powers that be want us to be. Our family, right? Like, how does our family want us to be a steward of money? Does our family want us to have money? Does our family not want us to have money? Does our family want us to save? Does our family think people who have money are evil? Does our family think people that don't have money are idiots? Like, whatever it is, it's like we're not owning our own sense of self. We're melting and merging and assimilating into what we think they want us to be, because we think that if we melt and merge into what they want us to be, then we can ultimately belong, right? We'll ultimately be doing the right thing. We ultimately can belong. Then we'll be able to finally trust someone, and then maybe we can have the power. So that's literally how this entire process breaks down when it comes to custodianship of money. So these are the emotions that need to be cleared for us to step fully into custodianship of money, which we've just done through clearing the meridians, justice, dealing with injustice, fear, and constant moving, which ultimately were leading us to ask the questions, why do I not have the power? Who can I trust? And how can I feel I belong? So that is our custodianship of money clear. Now we'll move into debt. Just checking our clearing over here. Got 11 minutes and 47 seconds left with the Healy assisting now in the clearing. All right, so now we're going to move into debt. So the first installment for the collective is fire, earth, metal. It's in the metal element. And the installment is peace. Wow, having debt affects our ability to be at peace. Imagine that. This is lung 9. You're going to do both sides. So lung 9 is where the artery pulses here at the wrist underneath the thumb. So you're going to rub both sides, just alternate as we're doing the clearing. So we've got lung 9. So debt, creating lack of peace. It has to do with, creates issues feeling adequate in the world. When we have debt, we don't feel adequate. And our response is to cut ourselves off. We feel cut off, we cut ourselves off, and ultimately we're asking ourselves, how can I connect to the world? How can I connect to the world when I feel inadequate? I've cut myself off because having this debt disrupts my ability to feel peace. Do we have a mother child? Yes. Is it water? Yes. So metal is the mother of water. So we have a water installment here. It's in the kidney. It's hesitancy. So kidney 3 again, we did this one once before. It's right behind the ankle bone, inside of the foot, right directly behind the ankle bone is kidney 3. You're gonna do both sides. So hesitancy, and the hesitancy is causing, we have hesitancy, trusting. Again, trusting self. So what's coming up in both of these clears is issues trusting self, having issues trusting self. So we have a hesitancy around the debt. We don't trust ourselves. Our response is to fear the worst and be overly cautious. Pattern. Ultimately, we're asking ourselves, how can I cultivate my true power? So here we've got hesitancy, right? Hesitancy getting into debt, hesitancy with how to deal with the debt, hesitancy in trusting self to make decisions about debt, right? So it's like very much this feeling of like this hesitancy, which ultimately ends up leading to paralyzed will, right? Around trusting self, we're fearing the worst, we're being overly cautious in all things. It's like debt just really becomes crippling because it disrupts our peace and we don't trust. So do we have a controlling cycle? We have one here as well. Is it fire? Fire? Okay, so we've got a fire installment here. Fluctuating emotions. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not, sometimes we're upset, sometimes we're ecstatic. Like we're entering into debt and it's making us happy, and then later we're upset, we're having buyer's remorse, like fluctuating emotions, right? This is pericardium 7. We're going to do it on both sides. So here, it's going to be here about an inch down, middle of the wrist, pericardium 7, both sides, fluctuating emotions, causing us to be emotionally volatile. Our response is to wear the mask of compulsive cheerfulness. So our response when we're feeling volatile, or we've got these fluctuating emotions, is to put on the mask of compulsive cheerfulness. Everything's okay. Don't let them see that you're upset. Keep a lid on those emotions. Let's just wear the mask of everything's okay, right? And ultimately we're asking ourselves, how can I truly relate to others? When I'm hiding all of this stuff, how can I truly relate to others? This is your shame, your guilt around your debt, right? You're going to hide it. You're not going to let anybody see it. You don't possibly want anyone to know how bad it is, because they would think you were a horrible person and would abandon you and leave you, right? So disruption of our peace, we feel inadequate in the world. So we cut ourselves off and we ask, how can we connect with the world? We have a hesitancy because we don't trust ourselves. We fear the worst. We're overly cautious. Ultimately, we're questioning, how can I cultivate my true power? Then results in fluctuating emotions. We're emotionally volatile. We try to repress that by putting on our compulsively cheerful face. Yes, our Stepford smile, right? Hiding everything from the people around us. And then, of course, that leads us to question, how can I truly relate to others? So that's our debt clear. So you can rub, you can apply pressure. I usually kind of just do a combination of both. So I'll press it and I'll rub it, a little bit of both, just activating the acupressure point. Yeah, because you may have stuff stored more intensely on one side or the other. We don't always clear both sides. I only clear both sides when I test in that we need to clear both sides. And if it's that we're testing into clearing both sides, we're in a large collective of people in here. So some people, it's going to be more powerful on one side than it is on the other. Okay, so our last clear is receptivity. Fire, earth, metal, wood, water. We've got a water installment here, kidney. So this is our receiving. Paralyzed will. This is kidney 3 again. Kidney 3 here, beneath the ankle, right behind the ankle bone on the inside of the foot. Just right side this time. So we've got paralyzed will. The issue is it creates issues with drive. Our response is to be driven. This is interesting. And our question is, how can I be reassured? So this one's interesting. So we experience paralyzed will in receiving. So we're not willing to receive. What do we do instead? Well, we're driven. We go out, we try to achieve, we try to go out and get. We're not willing to receive because we're in a state of paralyzed will around receptivity or receiving, but we're going to counteract that by being overly driven, working hard, going out there and trying to get. And ultimately it's that needing to be reassured. Like, we need to be reassured. And so our drive is our external validation or our external reassurance that we're okay. Yeah, that's powerful. Do we have a mother child? We don't have a mother child here. Do we have a controlling cycle? Yes. Okay, so we have fire, water, fire, it's fire. Okay, we have fire installment. Miserable leads us to be miserable. Miserable is small intestine 3, which is here underneath the knuckle bone of the little finger on the side of the hand. We're going to do both sides, left and right. The installment is miserable or misery, and it creates issues with closeness and intimacy. And our response is to be closed and isolated. And ultimately to ask ourselves, am I lovable? So receptivity again here, like being closed to receiving, it causes us to be miserable, but being close to receiving creates issues with closeness and intimacy. So that's in our romantic relationships, it's in our friendships, it's in our business partnerships, right? It's just in life in general, creating creating issues with closeness and intimacy that lead us to be closed and isolated. And then ultimately, because we become closed and isolated and we don't feel close and intimate with people, we start questioning, am I lovable? So these are the two things that are really affecting our ability to receive. The paralyzed will to receiving, which then shows up as us being overly driven and seeking external validation to be reassured. Being miserable, creating issues with closeness and intimacy, so that we become closed and isolated, and ultimately we're asking ourselves, am I lovable? We successfully cleared receptivity. Yes. Any saboteurs, any deception. We successfully cleared debt. Yes. Any saboteurs, any deception. We successfully cleared custodianship of money. Yes. Any saboteurs, any deception. Okay. How long will it take for the energy, emotions, and condition from all of these clears to release through the collective system? Days, 2, 3, 3 days. So relatively short amount of time. Thank you, Healy, which is now done. We have completed our healing program. We've completed our elemental emotional resonance clearing around custodianship of money, debt, and receptivity. So, it's really paying attention to how this shows up for you, to how you decide that you want to move through life now differently, now that you've cleared this stuff up. What is custodianship? So here are some reflection questions, some journaling questions that I'll give you to ponder on. Now that we've cleared up this stuff around custodianship of money, what kind of custodian do you want to be of money? What kind of a steward do you want to be of money? What feels good to you? Not what you think you should do or what you've been programmed to do or what you believe you should do, but what does your relationship with money look like in terms of custodianship and stewardship of your relationship with your money? Debt. How does debt feel to you now? And how does entering into debt or paying off debt, like what's shifted for you now? How has that changed? And Mallory will put these questions as well in the group. So if you're not writing them down right now, or you forget what they are, or you want to come back and like re-look at them, she'll put them in the unit section of the group so that you can come back and do the journaling later if you want. You may want to wait a few days, maybe want to wait 24 to 48 hours and then maybe do the journaling to allow the clears to kind of sink in and settle in. And then receptivity, like now that we've cleared paralyzed will out of the way and we've cleared that misery away that's creating issues with closeness and intimacy, like, are you ready and willing and able to receive? And how much more beautiful will your life be when you're truly able to step into that state of receptivity when it comes to money, that you're able to enter into that energetic exchange with money. You're able to enter into that energetic flow state where you're giving and receiving of your financial wealth and resources and abundance and prosperity. So those are our clears. Yes, burping at the end. I didn't even burp. You must have been doing it all for me. So those are our clears. That is our masterclass for the evening. Again, if you feel called, I would love, 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 love to have you join me in Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game. This and so much more clearing, so much more wisdom, so much more knowledge, so much more. How did we get here? How did we become so programmed? And how do we move on from here? How do we step into flow states? How do we achieve and stay in states of flow when it comes to money? How do we step into greater awareness around what our divine birthright is, which is to be worthy and deserving of immense financial abundance, to step into our divine birthright, to be wealthy in all areas of our lives. And remember, wealth comes from two words, well and healthy. So to be well and healthy in all areas of our life, you are so worthy and you are so deserving of that. And it is your divine birthright on this planet. So this is called elemental emotional resonance clearing. So excited, Marjorie. So excited. Yeah, would love to have you guys in this program. It's going to be next level. Again, it's normally just pre-recorded content, and I'm really excited to be coming in and adding 4 new modules of content. There will be 2 group calls, 2 Q&As with me. It's a really amazing way to come in and work with me and start this incredible money journey and wealth consciousness journey with me. So I would love to have you if you're called. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I dropped the link for the lead page. We will also put it in the group. We will put these 2 files together and create a replay that you can come back and watch. You have forever access to this content through the Facebook group and through the membership portal. And you would have received an email from us, not only with the access to this masterclass, but a separate email giving you access to the membership portal where you can access the content off of Facebook as well. All the content that I always do is yours to keep for as long as I am on the interwebs, which will be a long time to come from now, I'm sure. So thank you so much for your investment of your most precious resources, your time, energy, money, into this masterclass with me tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to be here sharing the thing that I am most passionate about. I truly desire for you to emancipate yourself from financial slavery consciousness and step into a whole new level of worthiness and deserving of all that your heart desires. And I'm just really, really honored and happy to be on this journey with you. So I think that's it. Oh, I guess I should say also, if you guys are looking for a daily drip of wealth wisdom or wealth consciousness wisdom for me, and you have not signed up for the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind, which is my, it's basically a daily drip of wealth consciousness stuff from me, journaling prompts, reflection exercises. It's all facilitated on Telegram. It's supposed to have increased to $44 a month, but I haven't done it yet. I still haven't changed the price. So you can still get in for $22 a month, which is crazy. And you get a weekly group coaching call with me. We did it this morning. It was next level, an hour of Q&A with me a month. And then you get this daily reflection and content drip from me via Telegram, audio messages from me, heaps of resources, and a really amazing community to share all of your wins and struggles and processes with. So again, it's $22 a month. It's basically free. So if you're looking for something to do for your daily wealth consciousness, to have some tips and some tricks from me, all of my best tools for rapid manifestation, we kind of funnel them all into there. And yes, the group coaching from this morning will be on replay. Mallory just needs to get it uploaded into the group. So if you want questions, if you want information on that, reach out to me. But literally all you have to do is send a new message, like download the Telegram app, either on your smartphone or the desktop. You can go to telegram.org and you send a new message, you draft a new message and send it to Wealth Alchemy Bot. Just like that, the @ wealth, capital W, capital A, capital B, all one word, Wealth Alchemy Bot. Then it will prompt you to enter your information. It's $22 a month is the founder's rate. It's still available probably until tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to get it sorted. I've just been so busy this week. The price was supposed to change on Friday of last week and I still haven't changed it. So you might as well get in on it and save the money. It's really great. I love that group. I love being in there. I love sharing all the stuff I'm sharing on a day-to-day basis in there with that group of people. So I think that's it. I think that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world as you're watching this Zoom call with me, this masterclass, or you're watching the replay. Remember, it is your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life, and you are so worthy and you are so deserving. Good night. Mwah.